Welcome back to the Moose 105.5. Grant Nichols hanging out here with you in the heart of Huntsville. I enjoy this time of the morning so much. I go on and on about it, but it's because I get to have some interesting conversations with people from our own backyard and a little bit beyond. And this morning is no exception to that rule. I will be joined by Mr. Dale Orlando, a partner from McLeish Orlando and a member of the Personal Injury Alliance. One thing we love about Muskoka, one thing we love about living in Huntsville is just the freedom, to get out there and enjoy ourselves in the great outdoors. But there are some risks that are associated with sometimes, and one of those risks is not wearing a helmet as one cycles. And despite the ongoing education regarding the importance of this, there's still the need to get the word out there to make a safe coexistence between the cyclists and the drivers. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Dale Orlando, a partner from McLeish Orlando and a member of the Personal Injury Alliance. How you doing this morning, Dale?
I'm doing great, Grant. How are you?
I'm doing great. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time and joining me here at Wake Up Muskoka. How significant is the risk of cycling-related accidents?
It's more significant than I think people generally appreciate. And we have roughly 26,000 people in Ontario wind up in the ER every year as a result of a cycling accident. That's really just an estimate. I think it's well known that many people who are involved in cycling accidents never report them, so the number's likely much higher.
And the one thing about these unfortunate circumstances when these accidents happen, it can have quite an impact on not only the victim who is involved in the accident itself, but their loved ones, their families, their friends. I'm sure you've seen that over the years on many occasions with your job.
Oh, you bet. Look, some of these collisions have grave consequences. It can be life-changing for the people that are involved, not just, as you said, not just the injured person, but also the family members that have to be part of this journey of long, painful rehabilitation. Once a person suffers an injury, really, it's everybody in the family that is suffering as well as the person goes through all of the various stages of recovery.
And on top of the emotional, all that, obviously, there's also some financial suffering that can take place with these type of injuries as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people with very serious injuries oftentimes and most of the time are unable to work, and the cost of the rehabilitation that is needed can be, it can bankrupt somebody if the proper claims aren't put in and proper insurance isn't dealt with.
Now, we all know the significance of wearing a helmet, and, this is something that I know. I have two young boys. It's just instinct now. They know that if they're getting on a bicycle, that the helmet is the first thing they put on. It's second nature to them. But what I find interesting is a lot of adults, I'll see them out riding with their kids, and they're not wearing a helmet, but they expect the kids to, and, it's an old saying, but kids definitely learn from example. So I'm kind of curious, how big of a difference do the helmets really make for the cyclist?
Look, no helmet will prevent 100% of injuries. Once the speeds get up, a helmet really it can have a very significant impact. It can have a very significant. It's not going to prevent injuries 100% of the time, but studies clearly show that helmets reduce the severity of the head injury. And because of that, Ontario back in 1995 passed a law requiring cyclists under the age of 18 to wear a helmet. And in fact, parents who knowingly let their kids ride bicycles, whether it's on a roadway or a sidewalk, they can be charged as well for not insisting that and making sure that their children wear a helmet. Now, it's not the law that an adult has to wear a helmet, but as you said, lead by example. You see it more and more now. When you and I probably grew up, nobody wore a helmet. You didn't wear a helmet skiing. You didn't wear a helmet cycling. But the majority of adults now are wearing helmets cycling, wearing helmets skiing, and as you say, it sets a great example for the kids.
And beyond just the importance of wearing a helmet, there's other things that cyclists can do, especially up here in cottage country, just to make sure that they're riding safe and they're taking precautions into their hand.
I often cycle up in the Honey Harbor area. So I know that cottage country roads can be extremely dangerous. You have little or no shoulder. There's reduced visibility because of all the twists and turns and hills in the roads. You've got rock outcroppings and trees. So cyclists really need to do everything that they can to make sure that drivers see them. I've done so many examinations for discovery of drivers who have hit cyclists, and so often I hear, I just didn't see the person.
Right.
So there are things you can do. Obviously, you want to stay as close to the edge of the pavement as you can. I mean, sure, you're entitled to the lane, but in an altercation between a car and a bicycle, the car's always going to win. So try to get over as much as you can to the edge of the roadway. And then do things that are going to make you conspicuous. Have flashing lights on the front and back of your bike. Wear reflective clothing or bright-colored clothing. Have your reflectors, of course, on your bicycle as the summer winds its way down here and the days get shorter. Having those reflectors make you visible from a great distance.
And then the last question I wanted to ask you: if someone has found themselves in this horrible situation, if they have been involved with a collision with an automobile, how do they go about getting help? What steps should they do to make sure that they protect themselves, that they protect their rights, and obviously, once they get the emotional support they need dealing with the injury. But beyond that, what can they do to better themselves?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of things. When you're involved in a bicycling accident with a motor vehicle, with a car, you're automatically entitled to no-fault benefits. So there are benefits available through your own insurance company generally, or also you can apply for these immediate benefits through the driver's insurance company. That will provide you with some income replacement, some medical and rehabilitation coverage, and the amount of the benefits that are available through this no-fault coverage can be very significant depending on the severity of the injuries. But just because we have a no-fault system here in Ontario doesn't mean that you do not have the right to sue the at-fault driver. If a cyclist is injured or killed in a collision with a motor vehicle, the victim and their family members have the right to sue the at-fault motorist. And the amount of compensation that the person receives will depend on a bunch of factors. The severity of the injury, of course, is one, but also what precautions did the cyclist take to make sure that they were highly visible, to make sure that they were following the rules of the road.
One last question, if it's okay, Dale. I was just wondering if the people are listening to our conversation, they want to find out a little bit more information. How can they go about doing that?
You can visit the Personal Injury Alliance website. It's pialaw.ca. That's pialaw.ca. And there's all kinds of information about a victim's rights, what people's rights are with respect to their own insurance companies and with respect to launching a lawsuit against the at-fault driver.
I've been speaking with Dale Orlando, a partner from McLeish Orlando and a member of the Personal Injury Alliance. I thank you so much for your time this morning, Dale. And with our long weekend just around the corner, I'm always saying this on Fridays, no matter where we go, no matter what we're up to, we all need to remember to throw a little common sense in our back pocket, because at times we're all guilty for forgetting that.
You bet, Grant. That's great advice.
I thank you so much for your time this morning, Dale.
I appreciate it. Thank you.